Hey YouTube, Rico the Fox Kid here, and back home after weekend of YCS Philadelphia, and I guess this is just my video to my final thoughts on the whole thing. And honestly, I am really impressed with how I did, how the team did. I am incredibly satisfied just with everything that went on this weekend. It was a great first YCS for me. Um, Just as you know, if you've been watching the videos I've been putting up for the whole weekend, I was the only person on the team who made it to day two, which is very impressive for a first YCS to make it to day two. Um, just not even AC Lynn's my team leader. If I'm not mistaken, he's never made it to day two of any YCS, and been to at least three of them. But we all did pretty well for we did better than we usually do because we made sure our decks were consistent. We played consistently. Uh, as a team, we did really well. We made some great purchases, trades, profits. Exabeetle, we loaded on Exabeetles and Gaia Dragons because those things are going to jump up in price, especially after the finals with the two Chaos Dragons. Exabeetle makes plays, and we read that, and we knew they're selling them for $7 after this weekend. Exabeetles spiking. We need to hoard them all, and we got a lot of Exabeetles. And honestly, I saw Exabeetle coming a long time ago. I am I tend to see these like before anybody else does. It's just no one usually believes me until after it actually happens. Uh, I saw Exabeetle coming months ago before Chaos Dragon even happened. Uh, I was looking through our team binders, see if I could use certain Xyz for my Twilight deck because I was still running it at the time, and I looked at Inzector Exabeetle and I read its effect, and I was like, "Holy crap! This is a Scrap Dragon. That's what this is. This is a Scrap Dragon." And I can get it with two Chaos Sorcerer. That's what my mentality was. So I pulled it out of the binder, put it in my extra deck because I knew I could use it. And then when Alex Reed got second place at YCS Dallas, I looked at his extra deck when he posted on Ultra Reality Games, like his article, and I was, why isn't he running Exabeetle? So I put that in my extra deck. I was like, he even commented in the article that if he could change something, he would add another Dark Flare and he would put Exabeetle in the extra deck. Exabeetle makes plays, especially with Gaia Dragon out. You summon, you attach either like a Light Pulsar to send to get back Darkness Mail, or you send it, or you attach Sangan to search, and then you go into Gaia Dragon. You just do like the thunderclap. Uh, it's a team joke. Just the thunderclap with Gaia Dragon, because the Gaia Dragon makes plays. You just do it anyway. I saw that coming. I saw it coming months ago. And it's true now. Exabeetle is gonna spike in price after this weekend, and we got them all because everybody was selling them for $7. Uh, According to some of my like AC Lynn's, his wife Jay Lynn's, and all them, they were watching one of the semifinal matches, and the guy who won the whole thing, Fang Chen. By the way, congrats to him. He was a first time YCS Chaos Dragon, like me, first time YCS and Chaos Dragon. He brought out Exabeetle, and apparently a lot of people in the crowd were turning around, what the hell does that do? Like, what is Exabeetle? As soon as people found out what Exabeetle does, I'm pretty sure their eyes got huge. Like, why didn't we think of that? But I thought of it, and this isn't the first time it's happened to me where I called something and I was right. Like, when Star Strike Blast came out, there was this guy at our locals who like hoarded all these Star Strike Blast packs, and he was opening them. And every time he pulled a Doppel Warrior, he took it and threw it at another person, like the person who was sitting directly in front of him, because everybody thought Doppel Warrior sucked because Dandelion's better. Everybody thought Doppel Warrior's not going to catch on. It's getting hype. And like he was throwing all these Doppel Warriors, and I turned to him and I turned to my friend and I go, "Look, dude, he's throwing you all these Doppel Warriors. If you don't want them, I want you to give me every single one he throws at you, because Doppel Warrior is going to explode in popularity. It is going to be good." And what happens in the next month? Junk Doppel and like the plants with Doppelwar and all that, top. It becomes the best deck of the format. I called it. Nobody believed me. Uh, Doppel Warrior was good. And I'm sure that guy was regretting throwing every single Doppel he pulled at him. I'm feeling he was thinking, man, I had like 17 $8 rares. So, so I call these things, and no one believes me until it happens. But I digress. I don't even remember what I was talking about. But yeah, the team did really well overall. Like, we had an Zector guy running. We had an Zector, we had two Heretics. AC Limbs was running Dark World. I was running Chaos Dragon. One of our teammates, Craig, he was running Evils, and he was wrecking people. Apparently, he was playing one game against Dino Rabbit, and the judge was paying attention. He was like, "This no-name guy is wrecking Dino Rabbit like there's no tomorrow." It's like with Solda. Solda's amazing. Evils, Evils are good. It's just they're underrepresented. Evils are good. Um, yeah, we had everything going. Pretty much how it went down for me the whole weekend is round one, I faced a mirror match and wrecked them game one with Future Fusion. Every game where I opened Future Fusion, I won. Because Future Fusion just busted like there's no tomorrow. Game two, he opens with Future Fusion, but he was new to the deck and didn't know how to run it. He pitched all three of his Light Pulses instead of Wyverns. I don't know why, but so I used that to my advantage because I opened every card I needed to beat him. I opened like Viruses, Victorias. So I wrecked him. Game two, I faced a Rabbit player and got stomped. Uh, Game three was another mirror. It actually went to overtime because we were still on game two and there was 2 minutes left in the round. Uh, so I've never hit time on a YCS or like in any game until that point. So he said, "Do you know how the sudden death procedure works?" I said, "No, I've never gone over time." He said, "Okay, well, pretty much the way it works is that starting with the end of your turn, it goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then at the end of the fifth turn, the whole sudden death procedure, whoever has the most life points wins." So I was like, okay, and I open and I Zerg rush him, like vomit all over the field. I drop Light Pulsar, Chaos Sorcerer, Red Eyes Darkness Middle, Blackluster Soldier. I drop everything and smack him with everything, and then game two he scoops. Or like turn two he scoops, not game two. So yeah, game four I faced another Rabbit player. It was Matthew Vasquez. He's a well-known player if I'm not mistaken. I heard his name before, and I got stomped. Uh, Game five, I went against Insector, which was scaring me because Chaos Dragon has a bad matchup against Insector. And somehow I managed to win that one. I don't know how, but I did. Round six, I went against Chainburn and actually managed to lance my five-headed dragon that because Chainburn doesn't run MST or Heavy Storm or any of that crap. So, uh, like I hit heavy because he'd smacked me with all three of his secret barrels, and I was ready. It's like I'm loading my field. If he hits me with just desserts or something that like smacks me for cards on my side of the field, I'm dead. So I heavied my own back row and chain Forbidden Lance. So when Future Fusion went, five-headed stayed on the field. That I like doing that. So yeah, I managed to beat the Chamber guy. That was round six. Round seven was awful because that was the round where I had to face AC Lins, my captain. It was a highly like satisfying and very fun game. Like easily one of the best games I've ever played because we he stomped me game one. I stomped him game two. I think I stomped him game two. I don't know. But game two and three, we were going back and forth. And one minor misplay threw it for him, and I got it. And we were going to lose that one either way because we were the only two people who were still in from our team who were still in it. And either way, one of us was going to lose and not make it to day two. And it ended up being him. Stuff happens. So after that, he played spoiler to do what he could to ruin the records of other people, so I'd have a better shot. And then round nine, oh, not round, yeah, round nine. Oh, I skipped round eight. Round eight was another Dark World guy, but it was inconsistent, like there was no tomorrow. I stomped him. Round nine was the most satisfying thing that's ever happened to me in a game. because he was a stacker, and I beat him. Yeah, pretty much what went down was game one. I stomped him. He let my future fusion on the field for 2 turns. I summoned 5-headed dragon. He tries the bottomless it. I chain forbidden lance. Got a 4200 beer on the field that's not going to be affected by anything. I smack him with that. He scoops next turn. And then game two, one, he's shuffling my deck really fast, so like, he might be fanning it and looking at my cards. And then he starts to pile shuffle it. I'm like, no way. He can't be stacking me. He can't be stacking me. So I throw it. It's like, I don't have any legitimate proof. I'm going to let it slide, see what happens. I opened the worst hand ever. I opened like 3 big beaters, 2 Raikou, and a Lila. No solar recharge. I died fast. And he opened the nuts. He had like the rabbit, the tour guide, the Levy. Oh, and actually, I think I opened with a tour guide and he veilered it. Of course, just I caught on after that. I was like, he's doing something. So game 3, he does the same thing. He fans the deck. He starts to pile shuffle. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to fight back. I start to pile shuffle his deck. He can't say anything about it because he's pile shuffling mine. So I pile shuffle, and then I guess he's starting to realize like maybe I've caught on to something. So he does the final cut where you hand the deck back and you do a final cut if they shuffle it some awkward way. So I realized, okay, I'm going to final cut mine. And so I open a decent hand. I'm guessing, okay, I outsmarted him. It goes back and forth throughout the whole game. And then he gets Pot of Avarice late in the game. And he returns the 5 monsters. He does the shuffling and like the fanning and all that stuff. He hands it to me. I start to pile shuffle because I know he activated Pot of Avarice. He stacked something. I start to pile shuffle. He stops me, turns to the judge who's watching this game. I don't even know why the judge was there. Maybe he was interested. I've never seen this one guy running Chaos Dragon here. He must be a first timer or something. I've never seen him, and he's up here. For the record, I was 1 table ahead in Nazar Sarhan. Yeah, I was doing better than Nazar, winner of both YCS Dallases. Yeah, he didn't even make it to day 2. I personally don't really like Nazar, just for personal, like, after like what I heard happened at Dallas, like the aftermath of that. I don't like Nazar. Anyway, so he was doing the pile shot. He turns to the judge and goes, "Is he even allowed to do that?" And I'm just thinking in my head, of course I'm allowed to do that. You pile shuffled my deck twice. And the judge just looks at him and goes, "Yes, he's allowed to do that. It's a form of cutting." And then he pulls out an even weaker arm and goes, "Could it be considered stalling? Could it be considered stalling to pile shuffle your deck?" And the judge goes, "No, because he's pile shuffling faster than most people do anyway. Because I've got the Asian hands, like I got the Asian blood in me, so my hands move fast. When I pile shuffle fast. Like I don't do that like 1 mile per hour crap. I pile shuffle fast. There's no way I was stalling that. So he just kind of like gives up, does a sigh, and I pile shuffle. I do like the shuffle, give it back to him. He draws 2. He might have done something. I don't even remember. He ends his turn, and then I win. I outsmarted a stagger. Game, like, round 9. It was the most satisfying thing I have ever done. Just, I knew this guy was cheating me, and I beat him anyway. Making plays. So yeah, I made it to day 2. The whole night, I practiced against Rabbit, because my 2 losses were against Rabbit. Obviously, I'm doing something wrong against him. So I practiced, and I practiced with my teammate, JD. He threw together this Rabbit deck he had. I'm guessing he took it apart because he didn't enjoy it or something, and I don't blame him. Rabbit's not fun. There's no fun in Rabbit. And I saw him. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for Rabbit. I didn't face it day 2. Day 2, I faced an Inzector, and this guy's actually good at it, so he stomps me like there's no tomorrow, and I misplayed. But he was a cool guy. It was I feel like I've heard his name before too, Nick Amato. He was a really cool guy. I know he wasn't cheating me. But yeah, I got stomped by Inzector, so I was like, okay, there's very little chance I'm gonna make it to the top 32, but I'm gonna keep going and just see what happens. Then Randall Lemon got wind up looped. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't make it to the top 32, but still, I made it to day 2, went 7-4. For a first YCS, that is really impressive. Also considering I didn't have 3 tour guide. I had 2. Because the team had 3 tour guides. Albert was using one of them because he needs it. He needed it for his Dark World because it boosted consistency. Just that one tour guide boosted his consistency massively. So I was like, okay, I'll settle with 2. So instead of doing the 3 tour guide 1 track, I did 2 track. It helped. You don't need 3 tour guide. If that's another thing, you don't need tour guide to win. Yeah, it helps. Like there's no tomorrow because tour guide is easily one of the most busted cards in the game right now. And tour guide is going to be a format definer until they limit it. But you don't need tour guide to win. But yeah, I didn't make the top cut. I don't remember what I was talking about. I went on a tour guide rant. But yeah, I made it to day 2. It was my first YCS. I didn't have 3 tour guide, and I've never topped a regional. I've never topped a regional. The closest I've ever gotten to topping a regional was June of last year during the Giant Trunade format, where I got 52nd with Twilight. And they gave top 48 the invites. So that's the closest I've ever gotten to topping a regional. And I made day 2 of YCS Philadelphia with 1,500 people making plays. It shows how much I've improved since I started when Pharaoh's Servant came out. Like that's when I started. Pharaoh's Servant had just been released on store shelves, and I was awful. I was really bad at the game. But now you see what I'm doing now. I am a good player. Like I don't like to have an overinflated ego. I admit I have an ego. I am a prideful person. I like to think I'm better than a lot of people. I don't like to overinflate like I don't like to think I'm the best in the world, like, and no one's better than me because I'm me. I'm not that kind of person. But I do acknowledge the fact I am better than a lot. I am a good player. So yeah, and then the side events were just well, one of them was amazing. The other one kind of just. So we entered the battle pack preview because hunting for tour guides. We pulled sex. We pulled amazing. See, Albert pulled a Duality, a Starfoil Mirror Force. I pulled a Chalice. There was some great stuff. And then, like, my 5th battle pack, I opened it and say, okay, I'm bouncing, guys. We need to go. Starfoil Tour Guide. Pulled a Starfoil Tour Guide. The day has finally come where I made a pull that topped my Gold Series 2 pulls. Until yesterday, Gold Series 2 was the best thing I'd ever pulled, and then this happened. I pulled a Starfoil Tour Guide. Amazing. I have luck like there's no tomorrow. But yeah, so then after that I went into one of those mini 16 rush regionals where it's single elimination, the last person standing gets an invite. I made it to the semifinals and then lost. I knew the guy. I'd seen him before. He's not one of those pros. He's a noble, courteous player. It was Inzector. Like, God, shoot me, please. Not Inzector again. I kind of feel like I got judge raped, but at the same time, I know that I was technically in the wrong. Because the technicality was with DD Crow, sided against him. He banished for Blackluster Soldier. I've always learned common courtesy. Declare what you're doing before you do it. So I was like, okay, before you do that, I'm going to DD Crow the tour guide. And he goes, you can't do that. I already did it. So we call a judge, or he calls a judge, and the judge sides with him. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. But then, it's technically true. I should have preemptively banished that DD Crow. I was saving it for the Hornet. So I couldn't read the BLS. Technically it was true, but in terms of common courtesy, I would have ruled against it. But that's just me, but personal bias. Either way, it was highly satisfying. Final thoughts. The top 3 is now Chaos Dragon, Rabbit, and Zector. Windups are kind of there. Heretics didn't do crap. Like, Heretics were on the hype wagon. They had, like, our two Heretic players, Kenny and JD, they had a highly consistent Heretic deck. It's just, it wasn't over the top. I guess it just wasn't over the top. They made consistent plays. Like, they did some nuts. It just wasn't enough. There's other things out there. The only reason Heretics are over the top in the OCG is because they've got Gustav Max. The moment we get that, Heretics are tier 0. But yeah, you don't need tour guide. I had 2 tour guide because JD let me borrow 2. He let me borrow 2. I used the 2 tour guides. They helped. Yeah, they helped. I still don't think you need them. I could have entered that tournament with 2 Mystic Tomato. I still think I would have done good. Like, I do what Alex Reed did. Open 2 Mystic Tomato. Like, use 2 Mystic Tomato. It works. But yeah, I used the 3rd tour guide for the 16-player rush, and it made a play. I went like tour guide Sangan. He smacked into the tour guide, and then next one I drew the other tour guide. Went tour guide, and went into, what is it? Can't remember. I think it was like Levier or something. Or not Levier. I didn't do Levier yet. I think it was Leviathan Dragon or whatever. Did Leviathan Dragon, detached, banished the tour guide for... No, I know what I did. He smacked the tour guide, and then I banished it for BLS, and then I went tour guide, went into Levier, banished, or detached, brought back the tour guide Sangan, went into Giga Brilliant, pumped up all my monsters by 300 smack per game. 3rd tour guide makes plays. You can survive with 2, but 3rd one makes plays. So I'm doing innovation. I'm not gonna bother with my deck list. Like, I did a deck profile after I dropped, after round 11, and it was supposed to be the part 6 of my Road to YCS Philly, and it didn't upload. I tried uploading it twice and it just didn't work. That's why it does my videos do the skip from 5 to 7. I'm not gonna bother renaming it. But yeah, it was a deck profile of my Chaos Dragon. There's no point in doing a deck profile. I haven't seen a deck profile for Feng Chen yet, but from what I've seen, I'm sure he had the 3 tour guides, so he was probably doing the 3 tour guide 1 track, and he had Allure of Darkness. I didn't. I don't think Allure is worth it. That's my personal opinion. Just at most of the darks you use in the deck, you'd rather have them than use them as draw power. I mean, the Lightsworn engine works. You have Lightsworns that you are willing to ditch for draw power because you can survive without the Raikos and the Lilas. But like the Dark Flares, the Chaos Sorcerers, the Dad, the Red Eyes, you want those. I don't want to pitch any of those for Allure. I don't need that draw power. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to use Allure. I'm going to use 2 Forbidden Lance, which I did. 2 Forbidden Lance was an MVP. I made so many plays with Lance. Yeah, Lance is good. Lance is very good. But yeah, so the deck profile is not up. I doubt it's going to be up because, Konami hasn't done a deck list in a long time, like since the last format. The last YCS that had deck list put up, not counting Toulouse because that's the European Konami website, was the one that had like TG Stun, the first summer who won with TG Stun. That was the last deck profile they ever put up, like the last deck list. So I haven't seen a Feng Chen interview on YouTube yet. Don't know if Pro Winston did any of his interview stuff or someone else did it. But I read the feature match for the finals. Allure was the only card he played that I don't run. Not counting the cards he obviously sided in. I don't think he mains Compulse. I don't think he mains Smashing Ground. But game 1 he used Allure. That's like the only difference I could think of aside from the 3rd tour guide. That he runs Allure. And my deck's exactly the same. I ran the standard Chaos Dragon build. So there's no point in the deck list. Although I will say that since I have returned the 2 tour guides I borrowed from JD, so I have 1 tour guide now because it's the tour guide I pulled. I'm gonna use it. Um, so on the way back, I was thinking, what can I use in place of the 2 tour guides? And I actually came up with a really good idea. Well, for one, definitely something I thought of just as an idea. Because let me find it here. Dude, I love my deck. It is 100% hollow now. Where is it? It would be one. Yep, it would be the third from the bottom. Night Assailant. Level 3 Fiend. Searchable by tour guide. Flip effect is highly similar to Raikou. You flip it, you kill a monster. When it's sent from your hand to the graveyard, mandatory effect, so it can't miss the timing. You add 1 flip effect monster from your graveyard to your hand. You discard this, you discard Light Pulsar, you add a Raikou, or you discard this, you discard a Light, special summon Light Pulsar, you add a Raikou to your hand. U+. It's amazing. I can't believe I didn't think of it until after the tournament. Night Assailant. It's awesome. I mean, if you have, even if I had 3 tour guides, I would do 3 tour guides instead of the 1 track. I'm putting in that Night Assailant. That card's awesome. It's tour guide, Night Assailant. I have 1 tour guide. Night Assailant's putting in work. And then the other tech I'm doing right now is Gaga Magician, just because I want to use it. I pulled it at Gen 4 Sneak Preview. I want to use this Gaga Magician. He's got potential. Just, you have a level 6 on the board, summon Gaga Magician, call level 6. Go into Insector Exobeetle, or game 2, or you like Electric Virus there. Like, they have an 8-star monster on the field, Electric Virus. I don't know, do something to take their level 8, summon Gaga Magician, call level 8, go into Heliopolis, maybe. Or even better, maybe just they get Dad on the board. Electric Virus at Dad, do Gaga Magician, call 7, go into Gaia Dragon. Gaga Magician's got potential. Although I feel, honestly, if I had to make room, I would probably drop Gaga Magician because I'd rather keep Night Assailant. But there are plays. I didn't get my invite, so probably won't go to Nats, even though other people on the team are going. Try to LCQs. I'm tight on money. I don't know if I can make it. Although if I were to go and if I were to do the last chance qualifier, I could do it. I could get my Nats invite last minute. Chaos Dragon. It's amazing. To me, it feels like Lightsworn format all over again. You're doing the draw engine with the Lightsworns and the millings. Chaos Dragon is what Lightsworn wants to be right now. Consistent bosses, good bosses. You can Zerg Rush like there's no tomorrow. I probably shouldn't be making StarCraft references because I don't play it. But I love the term Zerg Rush. I have a friend that plays it. Yeah, I reference some things I really shouldn't, but whatever. I could do it if I wanted to. It's just I'm tight on money. I don't know if I could. So I don't know next time I'm gonna go to an event because not many YCSs near Maryland. There are no regionals near Maryland either. Where are the regionals? Oh, I could win a regional now. I know I could win a regional now with how I did this weekend. But yeah, I know one thing that I'm gonna use when it becomes legal. Gemini Pearl. I'd use this over Utopia. I don't exceed into 4s often anyway. It's worth it. But yeah, that's my final thoughts. No point in doing a deck profile. The second place guy, I don't remember his first name. His last name was Martin. I read the video. He was doing Dragonsworn, like with the Chaos Dragon with the Tech JD and all that stuff. It proves that straight Chaos Dragon is more consistent because Feng Chen 2-0'd him. I love Lightsworn, but it's not consistent. It was consistent in the Giant Tuna form because the game was slow enough. The game's too fast for Lightsworn now without more than 1 charge. It's okay. I've realized Lightsworn's not my signature deck. My signature deck is Chaos. I did Chaos when I played traditional format. I did Chaos during the Lightsworn, Twilight, Chaos, Lightsworn, whatever you want to call it. It's Chaos. It's light and dark. Chaos Dragon. Chaos is my signature deck. I will run Chaos like there's no tomorrow. I will run Chaos till they murder it again. When they chop off the Blackluster Soldier, and like if they like chop off the Chaos Dragon, I will run it until it is absolutely dead. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I've gone for half an hour on this rant. I went farther than what Albert did, because he posted a video that's 25 minutes on his thoughts. I rant longer than most people do. Yeah, I'm satisfied with how the weekend went. It was a wonderful experience. I would so do it again next year. I'm sure there's going to be another Philadelphia one next year. I kind of want them to have one in Washington, D.C. That one's an easy track. But, yeah. I actually want to redo the Yu-Gi-Oh! Youth of the Nation 21 questions that was going around last year. I want to do that again. I might do that after this video. Just see how my answers are different now. Because it's a year later. I'm a year older. I turned 18 in 5 days. I'm gonna be an adult. I want to see how those differ with what I said last year as a teenager. So, yeah, I think I'll do that. So thanks for watching this really long rant and review of how YCS Philadelphia went. And make plays, Team Playmakers. See you next time. Deuces.